The notification pinged on my phone at 3:47 a.m. Wire transfer completed. $85,000 sent to Luxury Auto Group. I sat up in bed, my heart racing. I hadn't authorized any wire transfer. I opened my banking app with shaking hands. My business account, the one I used for my consulting firm, showed the transaction clear as day. Sent 2 hours ago while I was asleep. I called the bank's fraud hotline immediately. Ms. Patterson, I'm showing that transfer was authorized through your online banking portal using your credentials and two-factor authentication. That's impossible. I've been asleep. My phone is right here. The authentication came through text message to your registered number ending in 4792. My stomach dropped. That wasn't my current number. That was my old number. The one I'd given to my family when I'd upgraded my phone 6 months ago. The one my sister Ashley still had. I need that transfer stopped immediately. I'm sorry, Ms. Patterson, but it's already cleared. The dealership has confirmed receipt. I hung up and sat in the darkness of my bedroom, pieces clicking into place. The borrowed debit card last month that Ashley swore she'd only used once. $12,000 in charges before I caught it and had the card frozen. The credit card that appeared in my name that I'd never applied for. $34,000 maxed out before I discovered it. Ashley had my social security number from when I'd helped her with her taxes. The joint account at a different bank that I'd apparently opened. Another $28,000 gone. My signature on the paperwork, except I'd never been to that bank in my life. I'd chalked it up to identity theft. Filed police reports. Frozen my credit. But it wasn't identity theft. It was my sister. At 9 a.m., I walked into Ashley's apartment using the key I had for emergencies. She was still asleep, surrounded by shopping bags. Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton. A new MacBook sat on her kitchen counter, still in the box. I took photos of everything. Then I found her purse and pulled out her phone. Same passcode as always, our mother's birthday. Ashley never changed anything. Her banking app showed the $85,000 transfer. Sent from my account to Luxury Auto Group for a down payment on a Mercedes G-Wagon. Her text messages were even better. Ashley to Mom, just sent the wire. Getting the G-Wagon today. Sarah will never notice lol. Mom to Ashley, good girl. She has so much money she won't even miss it. Make sure you delete the bank app after. Ashley to Mom, already did. This is so easy. I should have been doing this years ago. Mom to Ashley, you deserve nice things too. Sarah hoards her money anyway. Family shares everything. I took screenshots of every message. Every transaction. Every conversation about borrowing from my accounts. Then I called my attorney. Patricia, it's Sarah Patterson. I need you to meet me at the FBI field office in 2 hours. And bring everything we have on financial fraud cases. Sarah, what happened? My sister has been systematically stealing from me. I have evidence of wire fraud, identity theft, forgery, and conspiracy. Multiple accounts over at least 8 months. Total damages are somewhere north of $300,000. Patricia whistled. That's federal. Wire fraud alone is 20 years. I know. That's why I'm calling the FBI. Ashley woke up to find me sitting in her living room, surrounded by her shopping bags with a federal agent and my attorney. Sarah. She rubbed her eyes, confused. What's going on? Ashley Patterson? Special Agent Victoria Cruz showed her badge. I'm with the FBI's Financial Crimes Division. We need to talk about some banking transactions. Ashley's face went from sleepy to terrified in seconds. What transactions? The $85,000 wire transfer you initiated from your sister's business account at 1:47 this morning. Along with approximately $274,000 in other unauthorized transactions over the past 8 months. I didn't. Sarah, I can explain. You can explain to Agent Cruz, I said quietly. I'm done listening to explanations. Agent Cruz continued. We also need to discuss the forged signatures, the fraudulent credit card applications, the identity theft, and the conspiracy to commit fraud. Conspiracy. Ashley's voice went shrill. Your mother was involved, correct? We have text messages discussing the wire transfer. That makes it conspiracy. Ashley looked at me, her eyes filling with tears. Sarah, please. I'm your sister. Don't do this. You did this, Ashley. For 8 months. While I trusted you. While I helped you with your rent. While I thought we were close. We are close. I needed money and you have so much. So you stole it. I was going to pay you back. With what money, Ashley? You haven't worked in 3 years. She didn't have an answer for that. Agent Cruz pulled out documentation. Ms. Patterson, we need you to come to the field office for questioning. You can come voluntarily or we can arrest you here. Arrest. Ashley's voice cracked. For what? She's my sister. Family shares. Family doesn't forge signatures, Agent Cruz said. Or commit wire fraud. Or steal $300,000. Ashley turned to me desperate. Sarah, I'm 29 years old. A criminal record will ruin my life. Please. Just call this off. I'll pay you back. I swear. How? You have no job. No income. No assets except the things you bought with my money. I'll get a job. I'll do anything. You should have thought of that before you decided to use my bank accounts like your personal shopping fund. Patricia handed Ashley a document. This is a civil lawsuit for $300,000 plus interest and legal fees. We're also pursuing criminal charges through the FBI. Every transaction is documented. Every forged signature. Every fraudulent application. Ashley's hands were shaking as she read the papers. Mom said you'd never find out. She said you had so much money you didn't even check your accounts. Mom was wrong. Sarah, please. She was crying now. I made a mistake. A huge mistake. But I'm your baby sister. We grew up together. You can't send me to prison. I'm not sending you to prison. Your choices did that. Agent Cruz's phone rang. She stepped away to answer it, then returned with a grim expression. Miss Patterson, we need to head downtown. Your mother just attempted to board a flight to Mexico. My blood went cold. What? She tried to leave the country an hour ago. TSA flagged her. She's being detained. Why would she? Ashley stopped. Oh God. She has more of Sarah's information. She was going to keep stealing, I finished. She was going to keep stealing and run. Agent Cruz looked at me. Ms. Patterson, how much access did your mother have to your financial information? Everything. Social security number, bank accounts, credit cards. He helped me set up my first checking account when I was 16. I never changed any of it. We need to freeze everything. Now. The FBI field office was cold and sterile. I sat in a conference room while agents brought me account statements, credit reports, and transaction records. The damage was worse than I'd thought. Ashley had taken $274,000 over 8 months. Mom had taken $180,000 over the past year. Together they'd opened 7 credit cards in my name, applied for 3 loans, created 2 additional bank accounts, and attempted to take out a home equity line of credit on my condo, forging my signature on documents. Total damages, $531,000. How did I not notice? I asked Patricia, staring at the spreadsheets. They were smart about it. Small amounts at first. Spread across multiple accounts. They timed the larger transactions for when you were traveling for work. You couldn't check your accounts daily. Agent Cruz entered with another agent. Miss Patterson, we need to show you something. They pulled up a computer screen showing Facebook messages between Ashley and Mom. Mom to Ashley. Did you get into her investment account yet? Ashley to Mom. Still trying. She has 2-factor authentication on that one. But I got the routing number from her checkbook. Mom to Ashley, good. That account has at least $2 million in it. Once you're in, transfer to offshore account. Ashley to Mom. Won't she notice $2 million missing? Mom to Ashley, by the time she does, we'll be gone. I'm booking tickets to Mexico next week. You should come with me. Ashley to Mom. What about Sarah? Mom to Ashley. What about her? She'll be fine. She always lands on her feet. Besides, we deserve this. She's had everything handed to her. I stared at the screen, reading those words over and over. We deserve this. She's had everything handed to her. I'd worked since I was 14. Put myself through college on scholarships and student loans. Built my consulting business from nothing. Worked 60-hour weeks for a decade. Meanwhile, Ashley had never held a job for more than 6 months. Mom hadn't worked in 15 years, living off alimony from Dad and my family support payments. They were planning to steal everything and flee the country, Agent Cruz said. This isn't impulsive theft. This is organized, premeditated fraud. How long? I asked. How long were they planning this? She pulled up more messages. At least 18 months. Your mother started researching offshore accounts and countries without extradition treaties 2 years ago. 2 years. While I'd been having weekly dinners with them. Helping Ashley with her rent. Giving Mom money for emergencies. They'd been planning to rob me blind and disappear. Miss Patterson, the other agent said, we need to know, do you want to press charges? I looked at Patricia. She gave me a small nod. Yes, I said. Full prosecution. Both of them. The news broke 3 days later. Someone at the FBI leaked the story. Probably intentionally. Local woman discovers family theft ring. The headlines were everywhere. My phone exploded with calls. Friends I hadn't talked to in years. Distant relatives. Former colleagues. All asking the same thing. How could your own mother and sister do this? I didn't have an answer. The trial took 7 months. Ashley's attorney tried to paint her as a victim of Mom's manipulation. Mom's attorney claimed she was trying to help me by managing my money. Neither defense worked. The evidence was overwhelming. Hundreds of unauthorized transactions. Forged signatures on dozens of documents. Text messages planning the theft and escape. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Ashley, guilty on all counts. 12 years federal prison. Mom, guilty on all counts. 15 years federal prison. I sat in the courtroom and felt nothing. No satisfaction. No vindication. Just emptiness. Patricia squeezed my hand. You did the right thing. Then why doesn't it feel right? Because they're your family. But Sarah, they stopped being family the moment they decided you were just a resource to exploit. 6 months after sentencing, I sat in my new office. I'd moved my consulting firm to a different city, started fresh. My assistant buzzed. Miss Patterson, there's a letter here. From a federal prison in California. From who? Ashley Patterson. I stared at the envelope for a long time before opening it. Dear Sarah, I know you probably don't want to hear from me. I understand if you throw this away without reading it. I've had a lot of time to think in here. About what I did. About who I became. About how I justified stealing from you. Mom always said you had it easy. That you were Dad's favorite. That you got all the opportunities while I got nothing. I believed her. I let myself believe that taking your money was somehow fair. Balancing the scales. I was wrong. You worked for everything you have. I see that now. You earned it. And I stole it because I was lazy and entitled and wanted the easy way. I know, I'm sorry, doesn't fix anything. It doesn't give you back the money or the trust or the years of friendship we had before I destroyed it. But I am sorry. Truly deeply sorry. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I understand now. What I took wasn't just money. It was your security. Your peace of mind. Your ability to trust anyone. I destroyed my own sister for a Mercedes and some designer bags. I'll be in here for 12 years. When I get out, I'll be 41. I don't know what kind of life I'll have. But I know I'll spend every day of it trying to become someone who deserves a sister like you. I love you. I always did, even when I was stealing from you. I know that doesn't make sense. But it's true. I'm so sorry. Ashley. I read the letter 3 times, then put it in my desk drawer. I didn't write back. Maybe someday I would. Maybe in 12 years when she got out, we'd have coffee and try to rebuild something. Or maybe not. Maybe some relationships once broken can't be repaired. Maybe some betrayals are too deep to forgive. I didn't know yet. What I did know was that I'd survived. I'd protected myself. I'd held people accountable for their actions, even when those people were family. And I'd learned the hardest lesson of all. That sometimes the people who say family shares everything really mean, I'm entitled to everything you have. That love without boundaries isn't love, it's exploitation. That the bravest thing you can do is say no to people you love when they're destroying you. My phone buzzed. A client meeting in 20 minutes. A new contract worth $500,000. I locked the letter in my drawer and stood up. Ashley was right about one thing. I had worked for everything I had. And I'd keep working. Building. Growing. Protecting what was mine. Because the accounts weren't ATMs. They were the result of blood, sweat, and sacrifice. And no one, Not my sister, not my mother, not anyone got to take that from me ever again. I'd made sure of it. The federal investigators had done their job. The courts had done theirs. Now I was doing mine. Living well. Without them. And finally, completely freely. For myself. 5 years later. My consulting firm had grown to 40 employees. Annual revenue, $12 million. My personal net worth, $47 million. I'd rebuilt everything they'd taken and multiplied it. I'd also started a foundation, the Financial Abuse Survivors Fund. We provided legal assistance, therapy, and financial education to people whose families had exploited them. Last year, we helped 83 people escape financial abuse situations. This year, we were on track to help over 200. Ashley sent letters occasionally. I read them all. Responded to none. Mom sent nothing. I heard through extended family that she'd disowned me from prison. Told everyone I was a heartless monster who'd destroyed her life over a misunderstanding. Some family members believed her. They stopped talking to me. I didn't care. The ones who mattered, who'd seen the evidence, who'd understood, they stayed. Everyone else could believe whatever made them comfortable. I knew the truth. And truth, I'd learned, was more valuable than any amount of money my sister had stolen. More valuable than any relationship that required me to be a victim. More valuable than the word family, when it was just another word for Mark. My assistant buzzed. Ms. Patterson, the Forbes interview is here. Perfect. Send them in. They wanted to talk about my company. My success. How I'd built something from nothing. I'd tell them the professional story. The edited version. The one that didn't include the sister who'd forged my signature while texting about designer bags. Or the mother who'd planned to rob me and flee to Mexico. That story was mine. Private. Protected. And finally, completely. I'd survived my family. Now I was thriving without them. And that was the only ending that mattered.